Greetings. My name is John Watson. I'm here with Jackie Ng, who is the former chair of the Board of Directors for Congregations Concerned for the Homeless. Now she is a member of that board, and we have a few questions for her that we'd like to ask you. First of all, welcome, and I'm glad that you could make it here today. Would you please tell us, how did CCH begin and become what it is today?
As I understand it, about 20 years ago, a group of very concerned citizens from 4 or 5 churches sat around a kitchen table and had learned about homeless. There was a flurry of media activity speaking about homeless. And they said, you know, we're in Howard County, we shouldn't have homeless in Howard County, and I wonder if there's something we can do about it. And they ended up or began doing donations and clothing and finding people, and then their first big event was to actually find a rental unit and put a family in. And there's a wonderful story about how they all helped move boxes and how good they felt after that. And that was 20 years ago. And today, through the ongoing support of the faith community in Howard County, but also now with grants from the county government and a tremendous amount of support from the community at large, we have 7 paid staff. We have a budget of about $660,000 and a evolving and continuing commitment from the community to help care for now 21 families that live in some homes that we own and others that we lease on behalf of the families. And in that there are probably, there's over 60 children in our 21 families that we take care of.
So all inclusive, how many people are served who are homeless by CCH?
By CCH, 80 to 90. We have some families kind of moving in and moving out in this next couple of weeks, so I'm not exactly sure, but 80 to 90.
Wonderful. And do you happen to know how many people beyond those 80 to 90 people are homeless in Howard County?
Well, actually, there was a point-in-time survey, as we call it, done just in January this past year. And if I may, let me use my cheat sheet here to get the numbers right. That there are actually 174 total. 88 of those were individuals. 28 of those were from families. And at the time, we were actually rehabbing some of our houses, so there would have been 33 families homeless if we had room for that, for a total of 86 people in the community. And I think the saddest, or the most telling, perhaps, figure is that in our school system, there are currently 380 children that don't have an address. And that's up from 302 2 years ago. And these are families that are living doubled up. One of the stories that one of our volunteers is a school teacher, and he said he always anxiously awaits the buses on the first of the month, wondering which students of his he will see and which he will not see because of evictions and everything, that far too often 1 or 2 is missing, or maybe moving to another school or something. So it's a growing and concerning problem.
Indeed. I'm curious, what are some of the other organizations that you partner with to help take care of
There
homeless
is,
situations?
in Howard County, we call it a continuum of care that starts at shelter, which is grassroots, and that's their primary wonderful new home that they have. They also have a shelter program, and then there is the Day Resource Center that takes care of homeless individuals. We deal just with the families, and far too often with the Domestic Violence Center. And then every once in a while we will get a referral from a church or another social service agency. And we try to do the best we can in that continuum. We're looking from shelter, such as grassroots, to our transitional housing program, and then hopefully move them on into their permanent homes once they're stabilized.
I'd like to ask you more about that in just a moment. But I'd also like to ask, given the current economic climate, how do you see the role of CCH increasing or broadening?
Well, in terms of what we do, which is provide transitional housing and some permanent housing where, in our 2-year program, that's not going to change, and we're limited. We only have 21 homes or funds supported, and hopefully those funds will continue to house those. But what we are doing is we are looking at how we can do a better job, contribute more, before the continuum of care, try and look at the prevention side of helping people who we are calling precariously housed, not become homeless to begin with. So the shelter doesn't need to see them, we don't need to see them. The streets and the woods don't need to see them.
Now, you alluded to prevention. Now that touches on the next question, and that is, what are some of the most prevalent causes of homelessness here in Howard County?
Low income, lack of or heavy debt caused by that low income, and situational things like a terrible health crisis that there's no insurance for, gets them in trouble, bad decisions. And I would say underlying, sometimes it's mental health issues. We don't see as much of that in our families as I think is certainly seen in the chronically homeless individuals. But among the underlying causes are just lack of life skills, lack of a capability to problem solve, to make good decisions, to care for their family, and they just kind of get themselves in this downward spiral. And then there's the always troubling domestic violence or abandonment that we see a great deal of.
And that's what gets them to homelessness often. What are some of the issues and concerns that you've identified once people are homeless?
In our program, we do, the first thing that we do is we put them into a house that stabilizes them, try to take them from crisis to some level of stability, so they don't have to worry about that. Then we spend up